The landlord-tenant board in Ontario is an absolute mess. In this video, we're going to talk about what has gone wrong and some solutions that could help clean up the mess that Ontario faces. But before we do that, if you enjoyed the free content that we give out and you're interested in buying or selling, you can book an absolutely free call down below in the first link in the description at a time and date that suits you, and you'll see if we're a good fit for your buying and selling needs. A group that keeps tabs on Ontario's tribunals is speaking out about a backlog at the Landlord and Tenant Board. In a new report, Tribunals Watch Ontario says there was 53,000 unresolved cases at the LTB as of March 2023, impacting at least 1 million Ontarians. There is little justice to be found for Ontarians who have turned to Ontario's busiest tribunal, the Landlord and Tenant Board. The LTB has been failing badly since 2019 when the current government began removing its experienced adjudicators and moved the LTB under the leadership of Tribunals Ontario, a mega cluster of tribunals. Wait times have increased by tenfold. The average wait for an order on an arrears eviction is now 342 days, according to Tribunals Ontario's most recent website data, as compared to 32 days during the same period in 2018. This means that whereas previously a landlord could expect to get an eviction order while still covering by a tenant's last month's rent, the same landlord will now be without rent for almost a year before they can get an order granting repossession of the home. For tenant applications, Tribunals Ontario reports that the average wait time for filing to order is even longer at 427 days, with some tenant applications, including applications seeking a maintenance order, taking over 2 years to be resolved. This can be compared to an average of 70 days for a tenant application to be resolved in a comparable period in 2018. The most recent Tribunals Ontario annual report also states that when a member of the public tries to telephone the LTB seeking assistance, they now wait more than 3 times as long on hold as compared to the 3-year average wait time reported in 2018 and 2019's annual report, even as the LTB now answers half the number of calls. The LTB has twice as many adjudicators and received more funding. But in the past 3 years, its annual caseload has dropped by more than 50,000 from what it once was. The caseload is going down, the resources going up, the backlog is going up, and the number of cases resolved every year is going down. What gives? Tribunals Watch Ontario believes the provincial government needs to step in. According to Laird, more than half of the cases before the board are applications from landlords for arrears of rent. Tenant applications, she said, are often about maintenance issues such as people living with leaky ceilings or broken flooring. Other issues before the LTB include above guideline rent increases, evictions for renovations, or evictions for demolition. One small landlord says it's especially frustrating for those waiting to evict tenants who aren't paying. It takes a minimum 5 months to get a hearing, after which you have to wait up to 60 days to get the order, then another 2 months on the sheriff to enforce the order. One aggregating factor is that all in-person services to the public were removed in 2020, which was during the pandemic. The effect of removing all in-person services is that people who are struggling with technology, whose first language isn't English or French, who may have disabilities, they can't participate in these hearings, and some of them can't even attend these hearings because of the digital divide. While people used to wait for their hearings, they could talk to the other party in the hallways where mediators will walk up and down and ask, "Would you like to find a resolution today? Would you like some advice on your hearing?" Kwan's group found that roughly 1/3 of those participants in the hallways were able to negotiate a settlement. That helped remove a significant chunk of applications that were destined to be heard by the adjudicator, he said. Now that everything is virtual, the work of the adjudicator has doubled, he added. The fact that the LTB backlog continues to grow despite increased funding, increased staff, and much larger compliant of adjudicators, as well as a reduction in incoming cases compared to pre-2019 figures, is proof enough that the problem originates in the loss of expertise at every level, and it is compounding by the new direction taken by the Tribunals Ontario, changing the way the LTB delivers service. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you found value in it, please consider liking and subscribing, or leaving a review if you are on other platforms, and let us know in the comments down below. What do you think could be done to make the Tenant Landlord board better for all? Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.